You know, in so many different fisheries, whether you're fishing for walleyes, perch, bluegills, crappies, you know, these fish pull out over these basins. You know, they pull out over this deep water. Typically it's a soft bottom, mud bottom. And there's a lot of different ways to attack a basin, but by and large, the big moves find fish, the small moves catch fish. And you have to remember that a lot of times these fish are just swimming around in a circle. They're just swimming around in this bowl. And so that being said, if you have the patience, usually on a lot of basins, if you sit in a spot long enough, sooner or later the fish are going to find you. Obviously, a lot of times you don't have that amount of time, and so you need to try to find the fish. And so a lot of times what I like to do, especially like say if I'm perch fishing or walleye fishing, those fish are on the bottom, is, you know, you can plop down on an area and say drill 50 holes and go from hole to hole to hole to see if there's any fish around, okay? But what I find is that if you fish that way and drill that way, it really bogs you down. And so what I find is that a lot of times I'm better off drilling a fewer number of holes and spending maybe 10 minutes in a hole versus fishing, say, 15 holes and spending a minute in each hole. Drill one hole and spend 10 minutes in a hole, 15 minutes in a hole, just see what kind of signs of life you get. Because the reality is those fish are just swimming all over, okay? And a lot of times that way you can make those bigger moves easier, because a big move isn't going another 30 yards or another 15 yards and drilling more holes. It's not going another 100 yards and drilling more holes. You might have to, in big bodies of water, you might have to move a mile at a time before you start to get in that zone where once you start marking some fish, start seeing some activity, that's when you want to drill the area out. That's where you want to make those small moves and, you know, and hole hop and fish from hole to hole. But until you get to that point when you're trying to find fish, spend more time and fewer holes and really space your holes out, get your holes spread out, you know, by distance, and that's how you break down water fast, you know, to try to find those active areas on a basin.